If you work a 9 to 5 job, your chances of becoming a millionaire are higher than you think. Not because a 9 to 5 pays a lot, but because it pays predictably. Predictability is boring, and boring, when used correctly, builds wealth. People don't stay broke because their salary is small. They stay broke because they treat every paycheck as permission to spend. This video isn't about quitting your job or chasing shortcuts. It's about using ordinary income in an extraordinary way. No hype, no shortcuts, just thinking that actually works. A 9 to 5 salary is often blamed for financial struggle, but the salary itself is rarely the real problem. The real issue is how most people mentally classify their paycheck. They see it as spending money instead of treating it as capital. The moment a paycheck is viewed primarily as permission to consume, wealth building quietly becomes impossible. No matter how stable or decent the income is, predictable income is actually one of the greatest advantages a person can have. It arrives regularly. It can be planned around. It allows consistency. But most people waste this advantage because they link income emotionally to relief and reward. After working all month, spending feels justified. Bills are paid, and whatever remains is treated as something to enjoy, upgrade, or use to feel better. This pattern feels normal, but it silently destroys surplus, and surplus is the raw material of wealth. When income is treated as spending power, lifestyle automatically expands to absorb it. Raises don't create progress, they create upgrades. Bonuses don't strengthen financial stability, they disappear into short-term pleasure. Over time, income may rise, but net worth barely moves. People feel busier, more stressed, and more financially committed, yet no closer to freedom. The salary didn't fail them. Their relationship with it did. Treating income as capital requires a mental shift that most people never make. Capital is money that has a job beyond consumption. It is money meant to be saved, invested, protected, and compounded. When wealthy thinkers receive income, their first instinct is not, "What can I buy?" but "How can I deploy this?" This mindset changes the order of decisions. Saving and investing come first. Spending becomes intentional, not automatic. Most people say they will save what's left after spending. In reality, nothing is left. Wealth builders reverse this order. They remove money from reach before lifestyle can absorb it. This is not about extreme frugality or deprivation. It is about creating a structural advantage where income consistently produces surplus. Without surplus, wealth is impossible. With surplus, even modest income can quietly build extraordinary results over time. Another reason people misuse their salary is emotional exhaustion. Work feels draining, so spending becomes compensation. Purchases become rewards for stress rather than tools for progress. This emotional spending feels harmless because each decision is small, but repeated over years, it drains the very resource that could have created freedom. Wealth requires delaying emotional rewards, something most people find uncomfortable. There is also social pressure. Salaried income is visible. People compare lifestyles with coworkers, friends, and online images. Spending becomes a way to signal progress. But signaling success is not the same as achieving it. When income is used to impress, it stops working for you. Wealthy individuals understand that visible success often comes at the cost of invisible stability. Treating income as capital also means respecting its fragility. A salary feels guaranteed until it isn't. Jobs change, industries shift, health and circumstances evolve. Those who treat income as capital build buffers, flexibility, and options. Those who treat it as spending power build dependency. Dependency forces people to accept conditions they would otherwise walk away from over time. This difference in thinking creates two very different outcomes. One group works continuously but feels trapped. The other moves slowly but gains control. The actions look similar on the surface, both earn salaries, but the mindset underneath is completely different. Becoming a millionaire on a 9 to 5 salary does not start with investing strategies or side hustles. It starts with redefining what a paycheck represents. When income stops being a reward and starts being a resource, everything changes. Predictable income, combined with disciplined deployment, becomes one of the most reliable paths to wealth. The salary is not the ceiling. Treating it like spending money is. Most people never realize that they lose their chance of becoming a millionaire long before they ever think about investing or growing income. The damage usually happens at the lifestyle level. The moment income increases, spending follows automatically, and this pattern quietly destroys wealth before it has any chance to form. This is one of the most common reasons a 9 to 5 salary never turns into financial freedom. Lifestyle inflation doesn't announce itself as a problem. It feels reasonable. When income rises, upgrading feels deserved. A better phone, a nicer apartment, more frequent eating out, upgraded subscriptions, newer clothes, each change seems small and justified. But together, they consume the surplus that could have been invested. Over time, income may grow, but net worth stays flat. People earn more yet feel just as constrained, sometimes even more stressed than before. The dangerous part is that lifestyle inflation creates the illusion of progress. On the surface, life looks better, comfort improves, social comparison feels easier, but underneath, financial flexibility disappears. Fixed expenses increase, obligations grow, and future income becomes pre-committed. Wealth requires room to breathe. Lifestyle inflation removes that room. Many people believe high income guarantees wealth. It doesn't. High income with high expenses creates pressure, not freedom. It forces people to keep earning just to maintain what they already have. This turns a job into a necessity rather than a choice. The ability to walk away, slow down, or take calculated risks disappears. True wealth is not about how impressive life looks, but how much control you have over it. Social pressure plays a massive role in this process. People rarely upgrade lifestyle purely for personal need. They do it to keep up with coworkers, friends, and online expectations. A certain car feels normal because others have it. A certain lifestyle feels required because it's visible everywhere. These decisions are emotional, not strategic. Over time, comparison becomes one of the most expensive habits a person can have. Another problem is that lifestyle upgrades tend to become permanent. A temporary improvement often turns into a fixed cost. Once comfort increases, it becomes psychologically difficult to step back. What was once optional becomes necessary. This locks future decisions into past choices. When circumstances change, flexibility is gone, and stress increases. Wealth builders think differently about lifestyle. They see spending as a trade-off, not a reward. Every expense is evaluated based on what it costs in future freedom. They understand that money spent today is not just gone, it is removed from compounding. This perspective changes priorities. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" they ask, "What does this delay?" They also value optionality more than appearances. Optionality means having choices, the ability to save aggressively, invest consistently, handle unexpected events, or change direction when needed. Lifestyle inflation reduces optionality. Controlled lifestyle increases it. Wealthy thinkers protect optionality deliberately because it gives them leverage in life. Another key difference is how they handle income growth. When income rises, they do not immediately adjust their lifestyle. They allow time to pass. This delay creates surplus. Surplus builds buffers. Buffers reduce stress and increase confidence. Over time, this discipline compounds into significant financial strength. While others feel richer briefly, wealth builders feel more secure permanently. Lifestyle control is not about deprivation. It is about intention. Wealthy individuals are not necessarily cheap. They spend, but they spend consciously. They choose expenses that align with long-term goals rather than emotional impulses. They are willing to look boring if it means becoming free. This trade-off is uncomfortable in the short term, but powerful in the long term. The biggest mistake most salaried people make is assuming lifestyle upgrades are harmless rewards for hard work. In reality, these rewards often become chains. They tie future income to past decisions and limit the ability to build wealth. Comfort today quietly steals freedom tomorrow. Over time, the difference becomes obvious. One person keeps earning more but remains dependent on their job. The other earns steadily, controls lifestyle, and builds options. The income may look similar, but the outcomes are completely different. Becoming a millionaire on a 9 to 5 salary is less about earning more and more about resisting automatic lifestyle expansion. When spending stops rising with income, surplus appears. When surplus appears, investing becomes possible. And when investing becomes consistent, wealth becomes inevitable. Lifestyle is where most people lose the game. Control it and the rest becomes possible. Most people believe becoming a millionaire on a 9 to 5 salary requires exceptional intelligence, advanced investing skills, or perfect timing. In reality, the bigger challenge is emotional control and consistency. Wealth is rarely destroyed by lack of knowledge. It is destroyed by emotional reactions repeated over time. This is where most salaried people fail, even when they know what they should do. A steady income gives structure, but emotions quietly sabotage that structure. Fear shows up when markets fall or uncertainty appears. Excitement shows up when others seem to be making fast money. Stress shows up after long workdays, turning spending into relief. None of these emotions feel dangerous in the moment. They feel human. But when emotions guide financial decisions, consistency disappears, and without consistency, compounding cannot work. Most people overestimate motivation and underestimate systems. They assume they will stay disciplined through willpower, but willpower fades. After a hard day, discipline weakens. After a bad month, doubt grows. After seeing others succeed quickly, impatience creeps in. Wealth does not survive this cycle. The people who build wealth understand this weakness and design around it. Instead of relying on how they feel, they rely on decisions made in advance. Saving is automatic. Investing is scheduled. Spending limits are defined. These choices are not negotiated daily. They are set once and followed repeatedly. This removes emotion from the equation. When fear or excitement appears, the system continues working quietly in the background. Another emotional trap is impatience. Salaried wealth feels slow in the beginning. Contributions feel small. Progress feels invisible. Many people abandon the plan because it doesn't feel effective. They want confirmation. They want speed. They want excitement. But wealth built on a salary is designed to be boring early and powerful later. Those who cannot tolerate boredom will never experience the payoff. Emotional investing is one of the biggest destroyers of salaried wealth. People invest more when confidence is high and pull back when fear is high, exactly the opposite of what long-term success requires. They check balances too often, react to headlines, and adjust plans unnecessarily. Each reaction interrupts compounding. Over time, these small interruptions add up to massive lost opportunity. The people who succeed emotionally detach from short-term outcomes. They understand that temporary declines do not equal failure. They expect discomfort. They accept volatility as part of the process. This emotional maturity allows them to stay invested when others panic and stay disciplined when others chase trends. Another problem is inconsistency. Many salaried workers save and invest when life feels calm but stop when things get stressful. Months turn into gaps. Gaps break momentum. Compounding requires uninterrupted participation. Missing contributions may not feel costly now, but over years the impact is enormous. Wealth favors those who show up consistently, not those who show up perfectly. The most successful salaried millionaires think of wealth as a long behavioral game, not a financial trick. They focus on repeating correct actions, not predicting outcomes. They measure success by adherence to process, not short-term results. This mindset reduces emotional pressure and increases long-term reliability. They also avoid constant optimization. Trying to find the best strategy often leads to paralysis or frequent changes. A good plan followed consistently beats a perfect plan followed inconsistently. Emotional calm allows them to stay with simple strategies long enough for them to work. Stress management matters here as well. Financial discipline is harder when life feels overwhelming. Wealth builders protect their mental energy. They simplify decisions, reduce unnecessary noise, and avoid environments that trigger impulsive behavior. This makes consistency easier and mistakes less likely. Over time, emotional control becomes a competitive advantage. While others react to every fluctuation, disciplined individuals quietly accumulate assets. The difference is not intelligence. It is temperament. Becoming a millionaire on a 9-to-5 salary is less about finding the right investment and more about becoming the kind of person who can stick to a plan when emotions are loud and results are quiet. When emotional reactions are replaced with systems and consistency, predictable income turns into predictable progress. Wealth does not reward intensity, it rewards stability. And stability comes from controlling yourself long before trying to control money. Most people believe that to become wealthy, they must always be doing something, making moves, chasing opportunities, changing strategies, or staying constantly active. In reality, this constant need for action is one of the biggest reasons people never build wealth. For someone earning a 9-to-5 salary, unnecessary action is often more dangerous than doing nothing. Wealth is not destroyed by inaction. It is destroyed by poorly timed, emotionally driven action. A steady income creates a powerful advantage: predictability. Predictability allows patience, but patience feels uncomfortable in a world that celebrates hustle and speed. When nothing dramatic is happening, people assume they are falling behind. This pressure pushes them into decisions that feel productive but quietly damage progress. Switching investments too often, chasing trends, starting and abandoning plans, or reacting to market noise all come from the same place: discomfort with waiting. Those who successfully build wealth understand that waiting is not wasted time. Waiting is part of the strategy. Compounding does not require constant adjustment. It requires consistency and time. Most wealth is created during long, quiet periods where nothing exciting happens. People who cannot tolerate these periods interrupt the process just as it starts to work. Patience also protects against emotional mistakes. When markets fluctuate or headlines create fear, the urge to act becomes strong. Selling to feel safe or buying to feel included both feel logical in the moment. But these reactions usually lock in poor outcomes. People who wait allow emotions to cool and facts to surface. Often, the best decision becomes clear only after doing nothing for a while. Another overlooked benefit of patience is clarity. Time filters opportunities. Bad ideas fade quickly. Good ones survive scrutiny. By waiting, you reduce the chance of committing to something weak. People who rush decisions are forced to rely on prediction. People who wait can rely on observation. Observation is far more reliable. Intelligent inactivity also preserves flexibility. Every action ties up money, time, or attention. Once committed, reversing decisions becomes costly. By staying inactive until conditions are favorable, you keep options open. This optionality is a form of hidden wealth. It allows you to respond when real opportunities appear instead of being stuck managing past choices. Many salaried workers feel pressure to make their money work harder as quickly as possible. This often leads to complexity and unnecessary risk. Complex strategies feel sophisticated, but they increase the chance of mistakes. Simpler approaches require patience, but they are easier to maintain. Over decades, simplicity combined with patience consistently outperforms complexity combined with urgency. Patience also reduces burnout. Constant decision-making drains mental energy. When people are always adjusting plans, they eventually disengage. A calm, patient approach reduces stress and increases sustainability. Wealth built on exhaustion rarely lasts. Wealth built on steady behavior does. Another reason patience is rare is social comparison. Seeing others move faster creates doubt, but visible speed does not equal real progress. Many fast movers later reverse course. Those who wait often appear behind until suddenly they are not. Patience delays validation but improves outcomes. For a 9 to 5 earner, intelligent inactivity is especially powerful. Regular income means progress happens through repetition, not dramatic moves. Skipping unnecessary decisions reduces errors. Reducing errors increases long-term reliability. Over time, this reliability compounds. Wealth is not a race to see who moves first. It is a process of deciding when not to move. Those who master patience allow time to work for them instead of against them. By resisting the urge to constantly act, they protect capital, reduce mistakes, and stay positioned for opportunities that actually matter. Over the long run, this quiet restraint separates those who stay busy from those who become wealthy. Most people believe becoming wealthy means upgrading their life as soon as they earn more. A better salary feels like permission to improve everything at once: home, car, lifestyle habits. This way of thinking feels natural, even deserved. But it is one of the quietest ways wealth is destroyed before it ever has a chance to form. The people who build real wealth think very differently about lifestyle, ego, and what success should look like. For someone on a 9 to 5 salary, lifestyle decisions matter more than income decisions. Every fixed expense you add reduces future flexibility. Bigger homes, newer cars, and higher monthly commitments don't just cost money, they cost freedom. Once these expenses are locked in, future income is already spoken for. This creates pressure. Pressure forces people to keep working, keep earning, and keep accepting situations they would otherwise walk away from. What looks like success on the outside often feels like a cage on the inside. Ego plays a central role in this trap. Many spending choices are not made for comfort or necessity, but for validation. People want to look successful before they actually are. They want visible proof that their hard work is paying off. The problem is that ego demands rewards now, while wealth rewards patience later. When ego is in control, money becomes a tool for appearance instead of progress. Those who become wealthy learn to delay visible success. They are comfortable living below their means, even when they could afford more. They understand that true wealth is not about impressing others, but about reducing dependence. Dependence on a paycheck, an employer, or a certain income level limits choices. Independence expands them. Another important difference is how wealthy thinkers define comfort. Comfort is not luxury. Comfort is low stress, flexibility, and margin of safety. A lifestyle that requires constant income to maintain is not comfortable, even if it looks attractive. Wealth builders design lives that are easy to sustain, even during uncertainty. This stability allows them to make better decisions when others feel forced. Lifestyle inflation is especially dangerous because it becomes permanent. Temporary upgrades quickly turn into expectations. Once comfort increases, going backward feels like failure. This psychological barrier keeps people locked into higher expenses, even when priorities change. Wealth builders avoid this trap by upgrading slowly and intentionally, not automatically. They also think deeply about opportunity cost. Money spent today is not just gone, it is removed from future compounding. Every unnecessary expense delays freedom. This doesn't mean they never enjoy life. It means enjoyment is planned, not emotional. Spending is aligned with values, not impulses. Another quiet advantage of controlled lifestyle is confidence. When expenses are low relative to income, pressure decreases. Reduced pressure leads to better judgment. People who are not desperate can wait, negotiate, and say no. This ability compounds just like money does. Over time, it creates leverage in career and investing decisions. Most people underestimate how powerful it is to live below your means for a long time. It builds resilience. It creates options. It allows mistakes without disaster. It gives you the freedom to think clearly. Wealth builders see frugality not as restriction, but as strategy. Ego also affects how people measure success. Many chase applause, attention, or status. Wealthy thinkers chase control over their time. This changes priorities. If an expense increases status but reduces freedom, it's a bad trade. If it increases freedom, it's worth considering. This filter simplifies decisions. Becoming a millionaire on a 9-to-5 salary does not require extreme sacrifice. It requires restraint. It requires choosing long-term independence over short-term validation repeatedly. These choices are rarely noticed by others, but their effects compound quietly. In the end, real wealth is built by those who stop trying to look rich and start trying to stay free. When lifestyle is controlled, ego is managed, and freedom becomes the goal, predictable income becomes a powerful wealth-building tool. Money stops being a symbol and starts becoming what it was always meant to be, a way to buy control over your own life. In the end, becoming a millionaire on a 9-to-5 salary is not about luck, brilliance, or doing something extraordinary. It is about making ordinary decisions consistently while avoiding the mistakes that quietly destroy progress. Predictable income, when treated as capital instead of spending money, becomes a powerful advantage rather than a limitation. Those who succeed control their lifestyle, manage their emotions, respect patience, and resist the pressure to constantly act or impress. They understand that wealth is not built through excitement, upgrades, or validation, but through discipline, restraint, and long-term thinking. While others chase comfort and appearances, they quietly build flexibility and freedom. This path does not look impressive at first. It often looks slow, boring, and unremarkable. But over time, those boring choices compound into something rare: independence. Money stops being a source of stress and becomes a tool that creates options, control, and peace of mind. A 9-to-5 salary does not prevent wealth. Treating it casually does. When income is used with intention, ego is kept in check, and patience is allowed to work, ordinary paychecks can build extraordinary freedom.